Because it's getting late. They're just getting, like, when I start coughing and stuff, that's, because this is what she does. This is what they do. She does it, they do it. They do this, like, at certain point, they just start to fill the environment with it to a certain level, a consistent level. Now it's to the point where it's actually hitting my teeth and hurting it. It's so thick in the air. Because at a certain point, she just, and they just, and just fill it and fill it and fill it because she just wants. And these are the moments that if I didn't drink coffee, like last night, I didn't, like the last 2 days, I haven't done anything to try to keep myself awake. These are these moments when this would happen that I would be out. I would be out because it's just too much, you know? And this is what they do. So at some point it's just like, and I mean, the animals just start like super suffering. And again, remember, I am at the Best Friends Animal Sanctuary, and there's people that work here that have to have helped this woman. I'm guessing the people cleaning the room saw that woman come down from there today. There were people all up there in the horse pasture area. There's 2 lights on down there right now. And another thing I want to note is that they would never leave her here by herself. Like, she may be up in that attic right now and she's not making as much noise, or she's in the other side of this duplex right now, which would be interesting if I went over there and just tried to unlock the door or open the door, because it should open. Shouldn't be locked for any reason. That would be weird. But they'll never have her here by herself. Ever. Ever, ever. Like, the last time I saw her was at the Powell Butte Park in Portland. I had parked my RV, and they obviously wanted to get in the RV, do the poisoning stuff so that it's more toxic when we get back in and we start driving, and do whatever the fuck else she wants to do in there, take a poop, God knows. She's a crazy bitch. Put on my clothes, roll around in her own poo, whatever the fuck she does. But she came driving past me. I noticed, I'm always being aware, and I noticed a black BMW pull in, no plates, old, with white paint splattered on it. Looked like, because at first it looked like dirt, but then up close it definitely looked like some sort of paint. And she drove right past me. And she was like huddled, like a little demon thing in the passenger seat. Like, she had her hoodie on, and she's just like, and she just looked like a fucking demon, And it was being driven by like a total meth head looking white dude. And then right behind them was another car with no plates, older car, again, should have plates, with 2 black dudes that looked like gang members, and both of them did not look like they were going to go out for a walk at Powell Butte Park. Period. Like, there's just times that they stick out, like badly, like sorely. Like, none of those people that were in those vehicles look like they had come to take a couple miles of walking in the park, which is what people do when they go there. They walk for a couple miles, They want to be there. It's beautiful. It's amazing, Anyhow, that's the last time I saw that diseased fucking bitch. So she's either in this attic right now or in this other side of this duplex right now. But one thing I do know is that she's not alone. So let's see. There's someone in the last cabin. There's someone in both sides of that duplex over there. There's one person in the duplex next to ours, and then one more. Actually, I think they're both in that next duplex. So there's 4 groups of people out of 8. So the first 2, 1 and 2, are empty, supposedly. And then 5 is empty. So 1, 2, and 5. But 3, 4, 6, that's me. 7 and 8 are full. So it has to be has to be, because they would never have someone that far away, all the way in the staffing area. That's too far. They would never do that. Has to be, and my guess it would be 7, possibly with 8. The other one I think is a lesbian couple that has a red vehicle. Not 100% sure about the lesbian part. It's not offensive unless you think that there's something wrong with that, to call someone a lesbian. By the way, I've been called it many times in my life, and I could give a fuck unless they're trying to be demeaning towards me. Yeah, they feel like they're going to develop into sores. That's not right. And then there's a young guy who I happened to meet at the burger place that offered to hold Miho while I made my order, because they didn't like Miho coming in the store. And that was weird coincidence that he would be here then. I'm not sure what to think of that. Yeah. Coincidences are never good in what's going on in my life. And then there's somebody staying in the number 7, which is the closest to me, which is where, if I were them, I'd put somebody, because it's the closest to me. And they have a pit bull that I don't think is friendly with other dogs, which is also, and that's also the young couple over there. He said he was from Jersey. And then there's a woman, and I purposely struck up a conversation with her when she pulled in, and she said that she's here looking to get a job working at the cat place, so she's staying here to see if she wants to live here. So those are all the people that are here. At least one of them has to be with her, has to be with them. There's just no other way, because they won't do it any other way. They would never, ever allow her to be this close proximity without having them as her backup. You hear that? That came from up there. They would never have her be alone. Ooh, I just saw a flash. I wonder if that got on camera or not. They would never have her be alone. I just heard voices. She's up there and she's talking to somebody. And I bet you anything it's to one of these people over here. And I would bet you anything it's cabin 7. That's the guesstimate that I would make. Because they would want the proximity and just the vibe. And that they were new from this morning. Because crazy dude from next door left this morning. He was fucking weird. Like, talk about bad vibes, dude. Like, he couldn't even hide his bad vibes. Like, he just... And the way he was talking to the women he was with, and the way he talked to me, it just... The way he looked at me, it just really evil motherfucker. I would like to know what name rented the place over here. Cottage 5 last night. Anyhow, she's getting bummed. She's gassing a shit ton. She's gassing. And this is my dilemma again. If I can stay up and avoid being raped, which of course I want to do, because I'm tired of this bitch putting her hands in my fucking vagina against my will and never having the fucking cojones to ever try doing this when I'm awake. Despite the fact that she's got all her friends. She's still not brave enough. I have to be totally knocked out for her to even lay a finger on my fucking body. But this is my dilemma. And you can see my lips getting more and more red. That's from this shit. Because it's just burning and burning and burning. It's getting to be more and more and more. This is my dilemma. If I want to try to fight to not be raped and stay up, and this is what happened. This is why Kitty died. Not my fault. I don't feel any guilt about that. Is because I fought it. And because of that, we were at the Beverly, beach park, whatever state park, and they just gassed and gassed and gassed and gassed. And Kitty was just in there inhaling it. And because, for whatever reason that night, they couldn't put me down, they just keep using more and more and more. They don't give a fuck about the animals. They don't give a fuck if they drop dead in 2 seconds. They feel like confidence that they can cover all that, So But yeah, they just start getting more and more desperate. And just again, remember how fucking pathetic this bitch is. This bitch has laid hands on my vagina, my body, my hair, my everything, and given my vagina and anus to numerous fucking men, and probably took money for it in some instances. Pretty much every day for 2 years. But yet when it comes close to her not getting it, she literally, I can almost feel her fucking like, you know what I mean? Because she's just like, I get to do what I want. I get to do what I want. It's my body. It's not hers. It's mine. It's like, I literally think this bitch is like, she thinks I'm her fucking little toy. Like, she's mental. Like, she's super fucking mental. Like, even her drug addict friends, I'm sure, think she's a fucking fruitcake. And some of them probably admire that, and other ones are probably pretty freaked out by it because she's super, super fucking mental. But she's like, this is mine. This is like, I can feel that from her. And I guarantee you, when she was a kid, she was the kind of kid that had a toy and just played with it until it broke, and then was like, meh, it's broken, meh, you know, but wanted to torture it and kill it, and I also guarantee that when she was young and a kid, she tortured other kids. She cannot be that hard to figure out her identity and who she is, and that she was tortured. I'm sure she was raped. I'm sure she was molested. I'm sure she had a horrible fucking life. I'm sure she was pedophiled out the door. She's like a teeny little girl. So, despite her old, ugly face, she's very small. And I'm guaranteeing that she was fucking heavily, I mean, you can't do this shit without being heavily abused. So, but don't feel sorry for this bitch. She chose this. Like, she chooses this now. And she's super nutcase. Like, I can feel her right now, and the amount she's using just, I mean, it's actually hitting my teeth. It's just destroying my lips. I can just feel like they're just super raw already. So then the toxin coming on them is just burning them and burning them. And Miho's just... But yeah, she's up in the attic right now. She's fucking in the attic right now. I should be able to call the fucking cops and have her dragged out of there. And you know why I don't do that? It's because in Hawaii, when I did call the cops and fucking... Look at this shit. Look at my fucking dog. I'm in the animal sanctuary. And look what's happening to my dog. There are people that work at the Best Friends Animal Sanctuary that are causing this to happen to my dog. People who work to save animals' lives. Are you fucking nuts? Are you fucking kidding me right now? I know the tatted bitch. I know one person. I know for sure 100% is the cleaning lady that worked over at the Roadhouse. She has brown hair. She had very white, pale skin, and I think light eyes, and she had a couple tats on her right hand. I think it was her right hand. And tap further on her arm. She was texting them as soon as I came out of my room at noon, texting them to let them know I was walking over here so she could either come out or go in or whatever the fuck. I can look at her. I could look at her and know. It's just people aren't that good at hiding who they are. They're just really not if you fucking pay attention. They're not. You have to be super psychopathic. You have to, like this bitch, she'd never fool anybody. I mean, when I saw her in that car, I mean, she looks like a fucking decrepit demon. She can't even sit upright in a car. Every time I see her, she's like hooded and hidden. Like what? Like I don't know it's you? Like, like you don't want me to see your ugly fucking face? I've already seen it a million times, bitch. I've already seen it. I've already seen your decrepit, ugly face. Right, bitch? You got nothing to say? See, this is what I mean. Pussy ass bitch. Pussy ass bitch. Pussy ass bitch. Up there. She can't lay hands on me unless I'm fucking knocked out cold. You really think that's powerful? You really think that's badass? I think that if she were caught and went to prison, she would get annihilated. Because she'd feel like she was badass and all this stuff, but literally, she can't do shit without a whole fucking army of people behind her. So, how badass is that, really? You know what I mean? Can that bitch come down here right now and fucking fuck with me now? No, she can't. And do you know why? Because she's terrified of actually having to be held accountable for the shit that she's done. Yeah, she's brave enough to come in here when I'm knocked out unconscious, do vile, horrible shit to my body, give my body to other vile, horrible fucking people. She's so brave to do all that, but she can't ever fucking touch me with one fucking finger while I'm awake. Not one. How fucking brave is that? Guarantee you, she'd go to prison, she'd walk around like she was a badass because she's all inflated because she thinks she's fucking hot shit from doing this shit because she's got a bunch of fucking rapists that either pretend to worship her or really do worship her. And she'd think she was fucking badass and she'd get fucking taken out like that. Like that. It's weird. She does this shit and she's pushing it to the point of fucking death. And do you think they have a use for her? Do you really think that they have a use for her after this? You think that they're going to send her into some other girl's attic? Some other lady's attic? No, I've identified her to multiple police departments, to the feds, all these things. If I were a sex trafficker and a drug trafficker above her, commandeering this whole thing with her, you know what I would do? I would take her to the desert, or in the desert, I'd dig a hole and I'd put her in it. Because if I was a sex trafficker and a drug trafficker, I don't really have friends. So just the thought of her ever possibly getting caught doing something else, ever any of her friends tying her to me or this circumstance, all of that would be too much of a risk compared to making a homeless crack whore that is a psychotic bitch who they have no record of leaving Hawaii and coming here, who they purposely picked because no one will care if she's gone. Which she doesn't seem to understand that. She thinks she's really, really mental, but they picked her because they could shove her up into an attic for a whole year and a half and no one would care. And they picked her because if she died up there by accident, if she got caught, if need be, and they needed to get rid of her, no one would care. That's why they picked her. And that she didn't have enough respect for herself as a being, a human, that she wanted to be up in my attic for hours, days, weeks, over a year, with a bunch of dead fucking cockroaches. And that she's up there now. And that she's followed me to 6 damn states. Do you know how fucking pathetic that is? I mean, I don't even know if the average stalker does that. You know, she's just followed me because she has nothing else to do. She has nowhere else to be. She has no one to hang out with that's missing her. She has no family to go see. You know, they picked her because she's disposable, because she's insane, and because nobody gives a fuck about her. And that she's willing to do this to an animal. And not all fucking meth heads are willing to fucking make animals suffer. Not all fucking crazy drug traffickers are into this shit. You know? They're not all super psychotic and insane. But she is. And when they're done with me, and they're done with her, I would guess that they're gonna fucking take her out. Because that's what I would do if I were them. That's what I would do. I'd take her the fuck out. I mean, she can identify all the rapists. She can identify the drug traffickers. I mean, you really think people like that would bother keeping her around? Because really, would you use her for the same thing? Because you really want to have somebody else in the world, in the United States, that's saying, describing her exactly the same way as I described her, doing the same exact thing. No, they don't want that. They don't want that. So she can't do that. So what is she going to do? What is this bitch who has now spent the majority of the last 2 fucking years crawling around in different attics in 6 different states? What is she going to do? What's she going to do with her life? What kind of service is she going to be? She's a fucking mental case. She enjoys this. She enjoys watching my animals suffer. She's addicted to touching my vagina. She's addicted to going into my uterus and torturing it. She's totally nuts. You think Michael Miskey is crazy, needs to have the needle? He literally does not compare to this bitch. I doubt, I would bet everything I have, that Michael Miskey would not have spent 2 years of his life trying to rape me or raping me every day. I would bet everything I have that Michael Miskey wouldn't be this fruitcakey in the head. Bet you everything I have. Yet, the feds have him rotting in prison, but know that this crazy bitch exists, and they ain't doing shit about it. I just saw a shadow out there. They're getting frustrated. They're getting bummed. They're getting upset. I can feel the energy of it. And of course, the amount of toxins in the air. And you saw my lips.